Tonight is going to be below freezing again. We're down at 26 degrees. We'll end the week with another sunny day. It was a beautiful week today. High temperature as you head through the afternoon, 56 degrees. This has been your weather forecast from the WSIC Weather Center.
Hello out there. Hello. Good afternoon, good people. Good afternoon. It is Thursday. The day is finally here. It is Thursday. It is the 14th of December in the year of our Lord. It is December 2023 and the 14th of December. And here we are all joined together on this here Thursday afternoon. Oh, that wasn't supposed to happen. Sorry about that, folks. That was not supposed to happen. Sorry, my thumb actually hit a button. I had some music going on and playing in my background. But I will say to that because that just happened. This date in history, a little music history to start off the show with right away. This date in history, 1968 on this date, Marvin Gaye, Motown Records released I Heard It Through the Grapevine. And it is to this date Motown's greatest selling record. I Heard It Through the Grapevine, Marvin Gaye's version, even though a lot of people like Gladys's version, Marvin's version sold more records. Gladys did it with 1 million. Marvin sold nearly 5 million records. One single record, yes. This date, released, hung at the number one spot for almost 8 weeks on the chart as number one in 1968. Man, I wasn't even here yet, but I was making my way across the universe trying to get here, I promise you. But this is On the Record, folks. I'm your host, Brian Summers. It is this here Thursday afternoon, and I do have a guest coming, and she kind of a little hung up in traffic, but there is traffic in Statesville, so we'll give her some grace on that aspect. The point of today's show, though, we're going to talk about things. I'll get really right into it. I wasn't going to hold a lot of time because I know her time is very valuable. And as soon as she gets here, we're going to talk. And she's pulling in right now. Look at this. Here comes Christina Lovelace, folks. She she drives a big old SUV. And so I know that. And now she's pulling into our back lot right now here on the Radio Road, WSIC. And we were going to talk the holidays, particularly last week. I had sort of touched on a little bit and just the holidays are coming, families are getting together, kids are coming back home, kids who have left are moving back home, and maybe not. And just wanted to talk about relationships and wanted to talk about difficult relationships within the family, home, friends. Sometimes, people outgrow, and just how do you handle those dynamics of being friends or being family, though the communication is not all that tight. And let me say this right off the bat. It is 10 minutes after 5 on Thursday. This has nothing to do with my immediate family. So don't anybody send me no notes. We're praying. No, I don't need that. It's not. But I did have a friend of mine who expressed this just in a conversation we were having, and he was just like, nah, I'm not down with that. So I thought, well, that's interesting. And so we tried to probe some more and talk, and he and I had a good discussion. And I thought, man, this would be an interesting topic to talk about because there are things we just don't always talk about, particularly in communities and dealing with families, and even particularly with the African American community that we just don't talk about. And I don't know if it's the norm or anybody else experienced that or heard that, got friends like that. Lots of questions that need to be kind of poked and prodded and asked upon. But that's where things are, and that's where we're doing right now. So let me see if she gets up to the door. She'll know she can come right on in. Here comes Christina Lovelace. As she approaches the door, she's getting here, and we got about 5 minutes before my first break. So I'll get her in, get her all set up and settled, and we'll keep her right on moving right here, right away. As I am trying to work the door to get her in. There, she's in, folks, and here she comes. I like when technology works out. I'm working this board here all by myself with the assistance of a trusty assistant. Joe is doing, they make things really happen. I just kind of sit back here and with my bald head make it look good. So, but anyway, we're going to have some fun, a great show. Every time Christina Lovelace is here, she sets his place on fire. I promise you. And if you're listening today, you're going to hear some just phenomenal analogy from her, analysis, thoughts on things, real talk. So you might not want to have the children around, but we surely are because we've got Christina Lovelace here. I'm telling you, I had to go. I went and got 6 packs of ice just to pack it around the seat because when she leaves up, it's fire everywhere. And so we have Statesville Fire Department. They're on standby when she comes up in here because they got to come cool this place off. So she don't. She looking at me like, you know what? It's the truth. I'm telling you. The lines light up. Folks started calling yesterday thinking, she here yet? She here yet? She called. But welcome. Come on in. And you in this jug of water. I ain't even going to say. Y'all see her now. She on camera already. We're not judging you. I'm just in that jug of water. And I think you done wrote your own name on your own water. It just says mama. Well, goodness gracious, folks. She is in here, and it is phenomenal. It's so good to have her here. And I think that for me, I was thinking, there are so many people and so many for the holiday thoughts to have, things to talk about. And as I mentioned to her slightly yesterday, I was like, I want to talk about the really uncomfortable things to a degree, folk, family, holidays, feelings, emotions, and some people don't talk about things, but me, I'm a talker. And it's because I had a whole lot of people to talk to when I was growing up, but I'm a talker right now. So yeah, you got sort of stuck with me to a degree. But anyway, so Christina Lovelace is here, folks. Tune us in, check us, go over to Facebook Live. We're live streaming, and y'all can see me sitting here with my bald head. It is this day of the 14th of December. And yes, I say my bald head and my handsome face because that's what my grandmama told me I was. Handsome, that's right. I claim it. And here we are. And she's going to come right on in here and share. She's got some background. I don't even know all of her background, really. I think I just saw her somewhere and said, hey, lady. No. She's with a professional organization. But here she's today in this role. She's talking mom, wife, friend, and just what she knows, because I don't know everything. As you all know, I don't know everything. So I turn to people that I trust, and I trust them with you all to, be able to share and advise and good stuff like that, and without it being all right. So let me say, you ready? Yeah. We don't have you in front of the mic, though, because we got you over here. Oh, okay. So I ain't going to put that on an empty chair, so we're not going to do that to you. Oh, man. Yeah, the other one he had you said, I was looking, wait a minute, hold on. So that's all right. We still in the learning stage around here. Yeah. So, but here she is, folks. And, yeah. And then stand up and pull the chair up a little bit more, because you look like you Gary Coleman right there.
Not Gary.
On the side is a little latch. If you do it, it'll come up. There you go. There you go. By the time you get on it, it'll go down, I promise. Try it, and then you can let it down as you're sitting in it. Lord have mercy. Okay, now go to the side and go down on it. There you go. Just a little bit. It's on the side. Don't go too fast because it'll take you like a space shuttle. There you go. No, you're not.
On Facebook Live.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, right. And thank goodness I ain't got the camera on you, so you're good. There you go. Perfect. Did you have to let it down some?
I did.
Okay, good deal. All right, so good deal. All right.
There you go. Yeah.
Well, welcome. Oh, you're here now. All right, so there she is, folks. She all set and cut out. We'll make sure she camera ready, because she's going to be like, Brian, you caught me with... No. All right. So.
Okay, there we go. Make sure all my people is...
Oh, my Lord. Oh, my goodness. Anyway, there she is, folks. She got a headphone. She all set to go. But we... Y'all know... My show, we are serious, but I also like to laugh a lot too. And so I like good people who have who are good people, good spirits, the whole nine. And so Christina Lovelace with her jug of water, boy, I'm telling you, she gonna guzzle. No, we gotta go do you. I ain't gonna do you like that. Take a guzzle right on camera.
You just mad because you thirsty.
All right. So, but welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome. Glad to have you here. Took a long time to get you back here. So very much. I would tell you, at least once a month. But going into January, some things are going to change. I'm going to be on the morning side of the show, so you can give me about 15 minutes. You can call in then if you want to, between 9 and 11, in January. Call in. Like, I'm going to go back.
1059 100.7 WSIC.
And we're back, folks. Can you hear me pretty good?
Yes, sir.
All right. We are back for On the Record. I'm your host here, Brian Summers, on this great Thursday, having a lot of fun. So excited to have this lady in here. The last time she was here, or maybe it was 2 times before she was here, and all my aunts down in the Charlotte, Huntersville area, they were like, she is off the prize. So I tagged them and said, she's going to be here today. I don't know what she's going to talk about. I don't know. We're going to talk about things. So she's here. Christina Lovelace is here on the spot, folks. And we're going to have some fun. So I wanted to talk on and get your perspective just on sort of like, sharing. It's the holidays.
Yeah.
And should be a joyful time. Families coming together. People may be coming home. And it ain't like that for everybody.
No.
It's not like that for everybody. It's not like that for a lot of people. And, I know people who purposely don't go home. Mm-hmm. People who purposely don't do family functions. Mm-hmm. Because, when I don't know how you see it, there's tension, there's beef, something's wrong, it ain't harmony. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, okay, well, how does one deal with that? Do you stay off by yourself? And kind of like, why is that? Is it, is there a lot of deeper things that maybe when you grew up and you got your independence, and it could be something on you, the person, why you think things ended up the way they are. I have a buddy who went to go to school and never went back home. Mm-hmm. He never went back home. And, and never called, particularly not as close. But now his twin brothers, they talked to their mom like 3 times a week, the whole night. And it was just a really weird dynamic on that. And it was just kind of like maybe everything wasn't kosher. That's I don't know if it's a proper way to say, when they were growing up. Maybe it wasn't as harmony as it is. Because I don't know what I would do if now, I will say this as a dad. Every week I talk to my baby girl. Mm-hmm. Look, we had that understanding since I gave her a cell phone. I said, let me just tell you, if I'm on the road, we're going to talk every week on a Sunday. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't change. And when she was in college, the same thing. Even if you don't want to have a 5-minute conversation, you're going to text me. But I'm going to tell you a lot better to talk to me for 5 minutes than that. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I wanted you to talk. I wanted you to, share, give us some wisdom here.
Well, let's talk about the situation that you just brought up. You've got the friend who, once he went to college, he never really went back home. Mm-hmm. And then he has twin siblings who brothers. Are regularly going back home. And that could be that there could be a number of different things there. So one, people are different. People have different needs. And depending on the age gap between the two, his experience growing up in the home may have been altogether different than the twins' experience. And that could have been in the home, or it may have even been his experience in the community, because parents are people too. And they grow and evolve, and their parenting styles grow and evolve, or sometimes their parenting style is more conducive to one personality than it is to another personality. And so whereas the twins may have been getting what they needed while this other child was being taken care of and loved as well as they knew how, he had needs that he did not know how to express that were not being met. That's a possibility. Or it could also just be that he evolved. And we were just talking, I was just speaking with one of my coworkers a little bit ago about I've gotten into plants. I've gotten into house plants.
Oh my goodness! Is anything growing? Is anything growing?
Oh, I got stuff growing everywhere. They sick of me at the house. They sick of me at the house. So look, I'm still listening. I'm still learning a lot. But I've got this one plant, these vining plants, and I grew it from clippings. Okay. And so they're grown and it's beautiful. It's overflowing the pot. I come home one day and it's just passed out. And I'm like, really, this is what we're doing now, But then with research, I found out because I'm giving it water. At first, I'm just like, oh, maybe I forgot to water it. I didn't think I did, but I gave it some water, and that wasn't perking it up. And it turns out that if it's root bound and it's run out of root now, but you just got to change the pot. It needs a bigger pot
to grow.
You got to put it in a bigger pot. Now, if you put it in a pot that's too big, it still won't prosper. But you're supposed to put it in a pot like the next size up, and they'll come right on back. Now, here's the thing, though. Once you move a plant up to the big pot, the only way that it's going to fit back into the smaller pot is if you break off parts of it.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So some people, they grow up in a particular environment that was great for that growth at that time. But then where they grow to just doesn't fit well back where they were.
Gotcha.
And there's no need for anybody to apologize for that. We're supposed to be here to grow and change. So some people, that's the case. Or sometimes I've got this drawer. I know I got a story for everything, but y'all, you invited me here and y'all
That's
gonna
right.
deal with
And
it
we're
today.
gonna hear it. Come
That's
on.
right. You're gonna hear this story today. So I got this drawer in my bathroom and I couldn't get the drawer to close. Okay, so I'm shoving, I'm pushing, I'm digging in there, can't get the drawer to close. And so nothing's really changed with the drawer. What turned out, there was a bottle that had fallen back behind the drawer.
Oh.
Once I moved the bottle out the way, the drawer could go back where it was supposed to be. There are some people that cannot go back home because there is an issue that has not been addressed. When the issue gets addressed, they'll fit. But they won't fit until it gets dealt with.
Who has to make the first move?
Who wants the drawer to close?
That's true. On that point right there, I wrote a post last week. And again, I tell people, this is not about me. I wrote a post last Thursday on Facebook, and it said, sometimes people need distance in their lives for the peace in their lives. And I was like, yeah. And a lot of people like me. I was like, yeah, I mean, just something for you to think about, you know. And so I find it's now I will say this personally, I find it difficult. We're in a show in here, guys, that people feel like you've outgrown them. So it could even be a sibling, could be a friend. And I know particularly in my situation, personally, I will say this aspect. I feel like I still remember like all my friends from all my life that I've had them in those same places. So when I would come back home, those were my boys. And it was all the memories, all the things that I knew of them just being my boys. And so as we got older, you know, I was still trying to cling back to then, and people outgrown and moved on, and the interests weren't the same, you know, and having you know, for me particularly, you know, there were things I could not jeopardize, you know, in that aspect. So it just, you know, it's tough at times, but I wanted you to speak on all that as we talk relationships. And then parents, I think, someone said this to me. Someone said, oh, I don't have no favorites. And I was like, BS. because, you know, I mean, and parents, they do, oh, I love them all. You can't love them all the same because they're all different. Even if it's just 2 kids or 4, you got 6 kids, you can't love them all the same, because they're not all the same. And so I would, in my say, personally like to think that I was my great-grandma's favorite. I think I was. I feel like I was. I do. I feel like that way. And I think that time she made me feel that way. You know what I mean? And so I don't think that took anything away from my other cousins, you know, at all. But I just, and I know that as I got older, the fondness of my heart was all about her.
Yeah.
Because I had those experiences with her to where she took that time with me. She made me that birthday cake, you know, that 2-layer, you know, white cream cake. Yeah, absolutely. And I, you know, and I will forever remember it. She taught me how to make oatmeal. And I'm like, yeah, you know.
Well,
so,
you can think about it. You can love people equally, but connect with them differently. So we talk about love styles and love languages and that kind of thing. You have some people that your communication styles just work together. And that can happen with parents, where I love my children equally, but if this is my communication style and this is how I love, and how I love actually works really, it coordinates with the way that you receive love, we're going to get along great. Now, I'm giving this other child the same love that I'm giving this child, the same amount, the same passion in this love. But if it is not their love language, then even though I am loving them the same way that I love this child, the way that we connect will be more effortless than this one.
Gotcha.
And this will require more effort. Neither child means more to me than the other, but it's going to require different thinking and different effort. And I think that sometimes families run into that with parenting style, communication styles, love styles just being different. So, and maybe this works. Maybe the way that I handle this works great for two of my kids. Maybe the way I communicate is great for two of my kids. But I've got one that has different communication, love, or emotional needs. And I'm missing it because what I'm doing works for these two. Okay. And it's taking care of the essentials for that one, but we're missing each other somewhere. People have we have different emotional fingerprints. Our needs are not all the same. And so sometimes that's where the disconnect can be. So this parent would equally take a bullet for either one of those children, but has more heart-to-heart conversations with child A because their communication styles are the same.
Yeah, gotcha. See, that's why you're here. All this in knowledge. Shoo, we coming in here breaking it all down like that. So,
well, wait a minute. I want to go back.
Okay.
You were talking about having friends, and you go home and you're wanting to connect, and these are my homeboys. I'm going back. I'm seeing them as my boys. Now, was I hearing this correctly as you're expressing that these are my boys? And I see them, and I remember the good old days, and I value the good
Growing
old
up.
days, all of that stuff.
That's what I know, right?
We had a great time, but I can't connect with you in the same way that I did.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
Because we have different assets now. And sometimes folks don't understand that because you've gotten out somewhere, and you know what? Let's talk about it
After
in
the
just
break.
a little bit. Yes.
Be right back, folks. Brian Summers, Christina Lovelace.
With Brian Summers is coming up on the new 100.7 WSIC.
All righty, folks, and we're back. And yes, I do. I love my little Motown bumper music. It makes me all so happy. But I think I gave you a little history on this date, 1968. The song, I heard it through the grapevine, Marvin Gaye's version, and is to this date the highest grossing record ever put out by Motown, and it 5 million copies for one record, 1968. Although Gladys Knight and the Pips version was put out first, Marvin was in the can waiting, and he didn't feel all that great about it, but they put it out, and guess what? You know, it was a hit. And so that's a little musical history on this date, 1968. Neither myself or Miss Lovelace were here in 68.
No, sir.
Just as a matter of fact, for the record, right there. So anyway, so good to have. I'm sitting here with Miss Christina Lovelace, and we're talking holidays and plants and drawers that won't close, and
Hey.
so and relationships and friends and all those things. And so I wanted to have her on and invited her to come back and just talk to us because I have aunts down in Charlotte and Huntersville who were just fans of her. My Aunt Faye, my Aunt Mabel, and they just thought when you were here, they
Hey,
were like,
Aunt
she's
Faye
bringing that
and Aunt
world.
Mabel.
Ooh, boy. I said, I don't think they watched my show since you were here. But my Uncle Dwight, yeah, he's my loyal in my corner. He with me sometime, and then I think he cuts me on and then hits mute. Ain't that terrible? That's terrible. Ain't it? That's a bad way to go. Then we talking about these family dynamics. You see there? That's where it all stems from right there. No, but we're talking about the holidays and the fact that families get together, people get together, and sometimes it's not all that kosher. And what do? Do people spend the holidays alone because you know that the visiting home atmosphere may not be all that cool, all that great, and how do you come to that decision? And I think we spoke before the break about my peace, distance might be my peace, and not wanting to go home and feel like, okay, I got to walk around on eggshells because that's Sister Sarah over there. And if I say the wrong thing, she going to go off. And then here we are, and I'm here for 3 days because I rode a Greyhound to get home, and what?
Yeah.
Or you don't have the greatest relationship with your parents because you may not speak to daddy, but your mom's favorite, and then the other siblings don't quite, or you just may be there, but you ain't all that tight. A lot of different. I was reading this, and that's where this kind of came from, article-wise, and I thought this is an interesting subject to talk about. People feeling alone at the holidays, and then people making choices to be alone at the holidays.
Yeah.
And so dealing with those. And then I mentioned to you my own self, having friends that you've known all your life and growing apart because the roads you take in life take you in different directions, But I have to say that for me, but when I catch up with my guys, we're right back where we were, I'm that emotional buddy and friend that it's like, I intense everything. I remember everything. My friends, blue Toyota. I remember everything a lot of times. I remember, and I internalize that history because that's how I see my friends and their parents and all those good things. So, but that's not everybody though. And so, though we hadn't have those dynamics because all of us went off and did different things and got out of Statesville and got married and things like that. But it was still good. I've noticed it with other people. It's just those relationships just never ever were the same anymore, and I think that's kind of sad that you have known somebody all of your, and then it's like from the time you're 18 on, I think that'd be very very hard for me because I internalize so much that if I did come home, I'd drive by where Eric lived. I'd go by Chris's place and see his parents. It was that kind of thing. Versus coming in and you never speak, you never say anything. But I know you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So anyway, go ahead. You talk. You got it.
Well, no, people, on that note, people are different and people have different emotional needs. And the relationship when you have someone who leaves the area and comes back, why things don't go back to the way that they were.
Because you've outgrown them.
Well, you're not who you were. You're
That's
not
true.
who you were. They're not who they were.
That's true.
So you can honor the way that things were, but at the same time, there's only certain variables that you're in control of. You're in control of how you choose to perceive and interact with this person, but you're not in control of how they choose to perceive you. And sometimes people, it's not you, but there's things about you that are threatening to them, not on purpose at all. But it may not be that you actually think that you're better than me, but I think that you think that you're better than me because I've internalized a regret for not following up on an opportunity that I should have, and I'm aware of the fact that I could be doing some other things that I'm not, and you did, and deep down inside, I feel some kind of way.
Resentful.
But a lot of times, it's not a conscious.
Resentment.
No, it's
It
not.
just
It's
may
not.
just I'm not going to acknowledge. I'm not going to like. I'm not going to give you no attaboy, or I'm not going to celebrate you.
Well, it's more of the fact that you're not just you. You're a mirror that reflects my disappointments back to me.
Oh, wow.
Sometimes.
Wow.
And so nobody wants to look at a mirror like that. It's not. Nobody wants to see that.
That's why you here.
Sometimes that's what it is, or sometimes, and again, we have to figure out where we fit. Sometimes what you remember isn't what happened. The relationship that you're remembering and the interactions that you thought you had wasn't the same experience that they had. So you're coming back trying to rekindle something that never actually existed. So it depends.
That hit.
So it depends. All of these situations are so highly individual.
Right.
It's hard to say. The best way to get to the root of any of them is to have open and honest, non-threatening conversation. Hey, I
like
would
that.
love to see you when I come home, but I'll be honest, I just feel like we're not connecting. Will you talk to me? Okay? And see how it goes. If I don't have time, I don't want to talk, then they're telling you
Something.
right
Gotcha.
there.
Gotcha.
Oh, I don't think anything happened. I don't know what you're talking about. Nothing's changed. When you know that something has, but they're not acknowledging it, what that's telling you is right now they're not in a position to do anything differently. So at this point, you get to choose whether you want to continue to maintain what's happening or whether you just want to give them space to do what they need to do. Listen, I'm here for you. You know, I come around for Christmas and Easter. Holla at my mama if you want to see me when I'm in town. My arms and my heart are always open to you, but I'm not gonna run behind you because I feel as though I'm running you down and I don't want to make you feel uncomfortable. So I'm gonna step back, but I love you. And then that's it. And you leave them to their own thing because they've told you by not wanting to talk about it or by not acknowledging it, or maybe they legit don't see it. They've got so much going on in their life that they're completely unaware of the distance that you're feeling. But if they're unaware, they're not ready to deal with it in that moment. Let them deal with what's most important to them, and I'm here when you want to talk. I'm available, but I'm not gonna run you down.
All right now. So what if it's family?
Same thing with family.
Okay.
Family gives boundaries too, and at
Ah,
work,
there
that's
you
one
go.
of the things that we, that we really take a look at is with love and different kinds of love, even familial love. Every form of love has boundaries. If there are no boundaries, that is not love, because boundaries come with expectations. Right? And so one of the issues, and we're trying to cover a number of different things here, holiday times are very tough. And if you take a look at the numbers, suicides are higher during holiday time. People with, overdosing and just substance abuse issues, all that stuff is higher. There's people with seasonal depression, all that stuff is real. And so we know that holidays are a tough time. Part of that, though, is because of expectations. When we want to do something different about the experience that we're having, we have to change some of our expectations. Some folks don't want to go home because y'all are always going to do this, that, and the other, and I don't like that. When I shift my expectation from this is the way that I want it to be to this is who they are, and this is what I can get out of it, and I'm just changing my expectation, and then I can modify my behavior. Change your expectation first, and then modify your behavior. So I already know what y'all are going to do. I know what y'all are going to talk about. I don't want to be there for all of that. So I'm changing my expectation from, I really wish we could all sit down and sing Kumbaya and whatever together. That's not going to happen. but I do want to see their faces. And I know that I want to see their faces because I know that if I heard later that one of these people passed and I never saw them again, I'd be upset. So it means more to me to go and see their faces. However, I'm taking my car. So when it's time for me to go, I'm a dip. I'm dipping, right?
So I'm using dip on my show. What?
Honey, but like I tell the kids, I'm going to make like a chip and dip. I'm not going to come here and
goodness.
sit here for the shenanigans.
You got it. This is Christina Lovelace, Brian Summers. On the record, folks. Be right back. All righty, good folks. Woo! And we are having a time here. My phone lines and folks are listening. And I'm seeing the chimes on Facebook. I'm glad everybody tuned in. You can get us on Facebook, Twitter, X, LinkedIn. You can get us on Instagram. You can get us also on Apple Play, which is exciting for me to be able to tell I'm on Apple Play. And you can streaming on all those platforms, folks. On the record here with Brian Summers. And as you all know, to come next week, Friday, the 22nd will be the final show of On the Record with Brian Summers, as I will be moving in the 2nd of January to the Home Ad Show, that famous Home Ad Show here on WSIC from 9 to 11. But I just learned something else. My birthday I can announce next Thursday, too. Yeah, because on the 21st, it's Christina Lovelace's birthday. So y'all know she going to be back in here. We're going to have a party then. Get Mr. Kittle and Graham in here. It's going to be all right. So, but we were talking, folks, about relationships, family relationships, dealing with things through the holidays, you know.
All right, well,
and how we do it. So
let's
anyway,
do that.
You
Yes.
get right onto it.
Okay, so where we were was we were talking about managing expectations when you go home. If it is difficult to go home, then let's manage expectations. Let's start to get real with ourselves about what we can and cannot do, about what the people that we love, who they really are and really aren't, and manage those expectations about what's actually going to happen. Part of the depression that results sometimes during the holiday time is because we're comparing what we actually have to an ideal. And the ideal of what's supposed to happen during the holidays is really kind of like a white Christmas. That ain't happening. When was the last time anybody saw some snow?
Yeah, well, I saw flurries on Monday when I flew back here. Okay, it was just flurries and nothing.
Look, and we're probably going to be in bathing suits on the 25th. But the point, but there's this ideal. You know, there's all the stockings hung by the chimney with care.
The expectation,
there's
I like that.
And the family is gathered around the table. And when you feel, and you have less than that, then something is wrong. My Christmas isn't right because I don't have that, whatever it is. But we've come to the conclusion that, baby, we live in North Carolina. Chances aren't that Christmas will be white. If it is, wonderful. But it's probably, let me go ahead and manage that expectation. And now I'm not looking expectantly and then carrying disappointment throughout the Christmas season because I'm waiting on the snow that when I'm real with myself, I know isn't going to come. And so now I don't have to carry that disappointment because I manage the expectation. And so this is what we have to sometimes do with some of our families. We're comparing this ideal, this image of the holidays that my family's not like your family. My family situation is not like your family situation. We may not even have the same belief system. Like, we may not navigate any of this the same. And so your expectations need to be based on what you have. Okay? They say that comparison is the thief of joy. And there's so much depression around this time of year because of all the comparison that's happening. And it's not just people, it's the stuff. I can't give my kids what those people can give their kids, so the holiday is ruined. But what can you give your kids that those people can't give their kids? Matter of fact, it doesn't matter whether they can give it to their kids or not. What can you give to your kids? And bless God for what you can give. Amen. If all you can give your child is time, then there are people out here, there's children out here that would love just having someone spend time with them. Yeah. Right? So let us focus on what we can give and what we can do, and let us manage the expectations for those other things that do not apply to us, so that we're not robbing ourselves of what we have because we're spending so much time looking at what everybody else has, whether it's possessions or people. Be grateful. Manage your expectation. And then I would say, when we're having complications with family, then we need to set boundaries. It doesn't mean that you can't come around. It doesn't mean that they cannot be around you. But it does mean that we have to set boundaries. So we're not going to have conversations about these things, okay? If you get back into this topic, I love you, but I'm going home.
Yeah, I'm out.
I'm telling you in advance.
Gotcha.
I'm not just saying what I'm not going to do. I'm saying what I'm going to do
and then do
if, right? So I'm letting you know in advance. If you get back on that, if y'all get back arguing about whatever, I'm taking my kids and we're going home and I won't be back.
Gotcha.
Okay? So I'm letting you, that is setting a boundary, letting people know in advance what you're going to do if. Now, if you've got people that they will take a boundary as a threat, you get to navigate whether you share it with them or not, but you still see it through for you. Okay? If it's just going to cause more problems than it's going to solve if I go in here and announce that I'm not sitting through such and such. Well, regardless, if they get back there and you're feeling uncomfortable, you get your keys, you get your kids, and you go home. That's what you do.
Gotcha.
Okay? And so setting that expectation. But when it's with people that we love, it's important to affirm that. I'm not going home because I don't love you. I'm going home because I do love you and I want to spend quality time with you. But these arguments are not quality time. Yeah. That's not what I came for.
The drama is not.
This is not what I came for. So when you want to spend time loving, I would love to spend that with you. Yeah. This ain't it.
Gotcha.
and I'm going to go home. So it's important to affirm that so we're not walking away because, hey, nobody's promised tomorrow. I'm not promised the ride home, quite honestly.
Right.
Okay? It's whatever because I know Jesus, so we good.
Where I'm going, I'm going.
Hey, when it's my time, it's my time. And I left it all on the floor. It's why I have no regrets. I tell my children that. I tell everybody else that. Whenever he calls me home, I'm ready to go. My stuff is in order. I have done the best I could with what I had. And I'm taking it to the house. So it's neither here nor there. But because we're not promised, it is important that when we care about people, even when we're in places of disagreement or discomfort, to affirm that this is not about the love because I do. Okay. And to let them know the kind of relationship I would love to communicate with you more often. If you would like to, I would love to communicate with you more often, but I don't feel heard. Right. When I begin to be honest with you, then I feel as though you begin to judge me and I don't feel heard.
Sure.
Okay. So I want to communicate. So we have to begin to explain and express what's going on with us because at the same time, people can't read your mind. So I'm gonna let them know, listen, I need you. As I say, I want to talk, I need you to listen to me. And when I say I need you to listen to me, I need for you, with active listening, I need for you to be able to reflect back to me that you're hearing what I'm saying.
Yep.
Okay? Because that makes me feel valued. When you can tell me what I said, I feel like I was heard, right? And so we communicate in these ways. When you talk over me, I feel like I'm not valued and that I'm wasting my time trying to communicate with you.
And it just becomes a shouting match and drama and
All of that. All of that.
Gotcha.
Now we can play tennis, right? We can do that, right?
Not
So
all the
I'm
time.
gonna toss something at you, and then you're gonna hit it back to me, and I'm gonna hit it at you, and we can do this all day. But one of us has to stop hitting the ball, and it's okay if it's you. If you hit the ball back to me, and I just let it roll, what happened to the back and forth? So sometimes you have to be the one to let the ball go in order for the game to stop. Okay? But even in that,
can't come up here talking like that and just drop that and lead it. You gotta let the ball drop for the game to start. Come on.
I'm just saying it is what it is. It is what it is.
Oh,
so
my
we
goodness.
want to manage expectations. We want to have boundaries and communicate them, but we also want to make sure that we're affirming love. And then also you were talking about how do you know, like, when you're having issues with family, should I go? Should I just stay home? I'd say go where the peace is.
Hey, okay.
Okay? If I will have more peace to go and leave before it gets bad, then that's what I need to do. Just because the expectation is, well, everybody goes to grandma's house and then we eat and you have to sit there for 4 hours. And then once everybody's drunk and playing spades, that's when everything hits the wall. You can go to grandma's house, tell everybody you love them, make a plate and dip before all the shenanigans. You don't have to. And then that way you feel connected, but you got out. If it is going to be far more stressful for you to go and see everybody, it's okay to stay home. Call. Can you call? Because you can call, you can send a card, you can send a video, whatever, just to let people know that you're thinking about them if that's where the threat's going to be. But it's important to consider not just your feelings in the moment, because if I think about my family right now and I just got off at 5 o'clock and I'm tired and I've been dealing with people all day and you think about all them people and it's overwhelming, I'm not going. Think about them from a peaceful place and consider as you consider what happens if I go, also consider what happens if I don't go.
Gotcha.
Would I regret? And then see if you can find that balance. But go where the peace. There may be some years that I've had too much going on and I'm just not emotionally in a place to do it. And that's okay. I'm going to send everybody my love. But Christmas is going to be me on the couch, me and Ben and Jerry on the couch. Ho, ho, ho. That's what we're going to do. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. And that's okay. That's okay too.
Yeah.
All right.
Gotcha. All right. Good deal. You gotta tell me how to get rid of my short uncle Dwight. That's the problem.
What?
I ain't figured out. And then you talking about send correspondence. I ain't want to send him nothing, man. That rascal. No, I'm just kidding. Shout out to my Uncle Dwight.
Shout out to Uncle Dwight.
Absolutely. He
And Aunt Faye and Aunt Mabel.
And Aunt Sheila, because we got to
And Aunt Sheila.
And Aunt Seal. So if you do, oh Lord,
Aunt
somebody
Seal, okay.
calling now.
All the
I don't know
aunties.
who this is. Somebody calling. All right, I got like 1 second, so we'll pick up the line. Hello, you're on the record with Brian Summers and Christina.
Thank you for this guest. She's phenomenal.
Oh.
She makes me think of a cool saying that says, "You're not my bag to hold."
Hey.
And with everything that she's saying, yeah, you're not my bag to hold to the family, but one thing that has to be said, there's no guilt, shame, or anything involved with choosing to not be with the family. Make it a happy day either way.
Mm-hmm.
Good deal, Hope. We thank you. Got less than a minute. Talk to you. Thank you. God bless.
Bye-bye.
Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. So,
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
yeah, good deal. So, yeah, all this, and I'm gonna send this out to people. I'm gonna be sharing this. So if y'all don't see me over the holidays, God knows I love you. A sister told me, send your love.
I know that's well. Look, I'll say this. I know we got seconds, but Jesus is the reason for the season.
Absolutely.
Right? If that's all you've got, but you focus there and you double down on your meditation on Him, you will find peace no matter who you're with or who you're without. He will guide you. He will give you counsel and He will give you comfort in this season. It does not matter that His birthday was on actually December 25th. It is about the He came and He came for you.
Amen.
And that will anchor you in